everyone, welcome. You're watching NewsX with me, Devika Chopra. Top focus continues to be the Allu Arjun case. Allu Arjun has appeared before the Chikkadpally police in Telangana today. The actor was grilled for over 3 hours for his alleged role in the Sandhya Theatre Stampede that he categorically denies any involvement with. Allu Arjun was accompanied by his father and legal team as he arrived at the police station amid a crowd of supporters. This development follows a war of words between Chief Minister Revanth Reddy, who criticized the actor for his inhuman actions, and Allu Arjun, who claims he is being made a scapegoat by the cops. Meanwhile, Telangana police is now expected to confront Allu Arjun with his bouncers team, although the next date of questioning remains unclear. Allu Arjun has been granted bail in the Sandhya Theatre Stampede case, which claimed the life of one woman, but amid reports of the police moving the court again, it remains unclear if they will be arresting the Pushpa 2 actor. How does one really proceed from this particular case? I take this conversation forward. I have Kishore Reddy of the BJP. We have Kevin Matthew Sunny, a political analyst, with us. I also have with me Puneet Vishisht, actor, and we have Mr. Pandarinath Vipuri, DSP of Hyderabad, retired DSP of Hyderabad, with us on the broadcast. Let me begin this conversation with Mr. Pandarinath Vipuri. Mr. Vipuri, I want to understand from you, sir, with Allu Arjun now claiming that he's being made a scapegoat in the entire incident that has taken place, while the cops say that they denied permission for the event to take place altogether. How does one really proceed from such a situation? Is it okay for the cops to go ahead and arrest Allu Arjun, specifically only him, and not hold anybody else in the entire theatre premises accountable and responsible for the stampede situation that came about?
There is no need for the police, local police, to register a false case against one high-profile celebrity, number one. Number two, this gentleman, Allu Arjun, if he would have come to the theatre in a normal way to come and have a witness of the movie without any pamper, he came out of the car and raised his both hands, shook hands to the public on the way to the theatre, which attracted the people on the road as well as around the theatre. Now, there is no sufficient police bandobast to control the crowd. Only when any movie is released in Hyderabad, generally the local police will deploy 4 to 5 constables to control the mob. That is the general practice here. Now, it was informed that when the theatre people have approached the local police to give permission for Allu Arjun to have a visit to the theatre, the police said, I am told that police informed the theatre authorities, Sandhya Theatre authorities, that there is no sufficient manpower to control the mob, and the crowd is very high. It is very difficult to control the mob, and requested the management of the theatre not to invite the celebrity to the theatre and ask him not to come. In spite of police request also, against the police request, he came to the theatre, and along with the 4 to 5 bouncers, along with his family members, he entered the theatre. By the time he entered the theatre at about 9:40 p.m.,
yes,
there was lot of crowd, and the people were out of curiosity to have glance of their hero. They just came forward little closer to the celebrity. Taking that opportunity, the bouncers, out of curiosity, they have forcibly pushed the mob indiscriminately and created a panic among the public, and due to that only, there was a lot of stamping, which led to the death
Right.
of a death of a woman and serious injuries to the
To her
son of the
son as well, yes.
deceased Revati.
Yes, I
So
want
on
to,
the
okay. Yes, so I also want to bring in then on that note Puneet Vashisht into the conversation. Mr. Vashisht, I want to understand from your perspective. As we've just pointed out that the cops had denied permission, right? I'm not saying that it was Allu Arjun who took that decision. It was probably someone in his team who maybe did not take the warning signs of the cops or the warning signs of the management as seriously as they should have. It's not the first time that there has been a stampede like situation in our country or in any other country for that matter when people do see a celebrity. That does happen. It's very common. But who then ultimately should be held accountable? We can argue that it's not directly Allu Arjun's fault, but someone has to be held accountable, and there has to be a larger conversation as well about. Okay, I think I seem to have lost Mr. Puneet Vashisht there, but let me take the same question with Kevin Matthew. Kevin Matthew, I want to understand from you as well. Who, in your perspective, then really needs to be held accountable in such a situation besides the cops?
Yeah, ma'am, the key thing here is that a woman lost her life and a child has serious injuries. And so everything else takes a standpoint. So the blame gives us because this is something that we aim to avoid. And this can only happen when everybody takes responsibility. So, and on that note, it is also basically, it might not, as you said, it might be somebody from the team, but the actor, see, personally, as Allu Arjun is a great person. He's done a lot of philanthropic things, but it is also his responsibility to understand his stature and position, and it is also his responsibility to actually, even when promoting a movie, yes, it is all needed, but it is also important that he understands it, not just Allu Arjun, everybody in this country, everybody understands, and everybody puts basic humanity first. That should be everybody's responsibility, and that is the key thing here, and that is the only reason why this case should also stand.
Okay, I want to bring Puneet Vashisht into the conversation as well. Puneet Vashisht, I want to understand from your perspective the same question. Besides the security and the management as well as the cops, is there someone then from Mr. Allu Arjun's team who has to be held accountable and responsible for what's happened? Because clearly the cops do maintain that they didn't give permission, that there was a likelihood that there would be a stampede and there weren't enough personnel to look after such a situation. So why is it that today stars or their teams want to take such decisions where, you know, impromptu, you just want to get into your car and you want to go make that appearance, which unfortunately in this case has resulted in the loss of a life?
What I hear about this incident, it's very, very unfortunate, you know. Nobody is speaking about the lady who's lost a life and a young child who's lost his mother, you know. So God bless her soul. And I think it is wrong if the management was warned before times that they should not appear there with the star. So they should not have gone. Now, it is not that Allu Arjun's staff has planned this death. So let's not sensationalize this, you know. We need to look into the child's life. What is happening with the child, you know? What is their status in life? Are they from a low middle class family, or they from a middle class family, or a high society? So if I'm just assuming if they are poor people, because normally lower middle class people are very crazy about stars, and you know, they are the people who I make stars, and they want to come and join like a crowd and watch their star. But what I would like to make a point as request through your channel to Allu Arjun's team and to Allu Arjun and everyone, that they should take care of the child. Now a death has happened, we cannot get the lady back, you know. And second thing is the management, if they are warned in the future about not to come, because stars probably don't understand what kind of aura they hold and what kind of a mob they can attract. So that's what's happened, and that's very unfortunate. Allu Arjun comes across as a very, very humble guy, a very, very simple guy. I'm sure being the big star that he is, he would also like to see crowd. But I think through this, it's very unfortunate, this has happened. But through this, all the South Indian stars must understand that, if the concerned people have told them not to appear, they should not appear. I'm sure they will not after what's happened this unfortunate day. I think the kid should be given attention to and see to it that he's been taken care of, his education. I don't know how much was the mother taking care, how much she brought bread to the plate, and. So I think we should look into the kid and not sensationalize this. The stars should learn a lesson because see, for some many reasons, everybody knows all the stardom from so-called Bollywood and Bombay has gone, and all eyes are on South Indian industry. And the South Indian industry stars have become big, very big, because they make soul-touching movies, unlike Bollywood. So I think they hold a very, very special place in people's hearts, and they should also realize they're just stars. Go and watch them in film. They're not private property. It's just chill. Don't make them gods, and don't. They should all realize that for the future, such an unfortunate thing has happened. That don't make a crowd. Stampede. So many places stampedes happen. So yeah, I think if you could give me details of the child and the family, please. Your news people know me. Whatever I could do and offer, that I don't know the status of the family. I would do whatever I can do. My status allows me to do. I'm concerned about the child now. And last thing, the second thing is that if they were given a warning, they're wrong there, but it is not planned. Okay, we'll go and the death will happen. That's not happened.
No,
So it is
surely,
their
of course,
innocence and
obviously, that's
yeah,
never the
yeah,
intention. 100% that's
yeah,
not the
exactly.
intention, but sometimes accidents do take place unintentionally, and like I said, this
Unfortunate.
time it's resulted in the loss of a life. So therefore, it has to be taken with that seriousness, and the gravity of the situation is such, requires that sort of attention. But Mr. Kishore Bappa Reddy, on what basis is then the BJP raising allegations against Revanth Reddy and his government?
It's good evening, everyone. So, it is not about the incident itself. It's not about the filing of the case itself, but the over enthusiasm shown by the administration from top to bottom, and not just the police. Police most likely is instructed by the political leadership, but the over enthusiasm shown in the way Allu Arjun was arrested, in the way the police asked for a remand for him, and then the same day the High Court had said there is not much ground, and then he was released on bail. And even then, the way he was put in the jail for overnight. I mean, he wasn't released immediately, of course. He was there overnight. And then the issue, it's been more than 20 days, 4th and today is 24th. So it is exactly 20 days, 3 weeks. And the issue has taken a political color. The CM, the ministers in the administration, even the MIM MLAs, they have made Allu Arjun a personal target, trying to show that he's a bad person, and this is an outcome of that. But here is one question you were asking just a couple of minutes ago, Mr. Kevin and Puneet, who else is to be blamed? But see, whether the police has given a permission or not, the Allu Arjun came to the theatre. Can they also answer if the actor was informed at the theatre that he does not have an permission to attend the movie and he should go back? One thing, right? So if the police themselves are not aware that there is a permission requested and a permission denied, let us say, then I don't know if the star himself has been informed by the police that he does not have a permission. So if they had just given it to the theatre and the theatre management, whether they have informed the star or not, all of these questions will come up during trial. There has been an arrest, there is a case, the High Court has given bail, the investigation has to go on, let the law take its course. But what has happened in these 20 days is way beyond the law. It is like the personal attack on an accused. I mean, I can outright say that Allu Arjun is an accused, whether it is through his negligence. I mean, whether the accusation is that he neglected it or he purposefully overrode the police objections and for various reasons came there without regard to anyone's safety. All of that will be a point during trial. And the police have to prove their case, and the actor will have a chance to rebut those accusations as well.
Okay.
So the point here is, I mean, in the assembly to outside the assembly, the politicians, just a couple of days ago, a bunch of student leaders, supposed to be OU Usmania University Joint Action Committee, students barged into his house, vandalized his place, and later on there came reports saying that one of them was a youth Congress leader. So all of this kind of, it looked like this was more of an intimidation tactic and a diversionary tactic for the Congress leadership.
Okay.
Especially, and why it is a diversionary tactic, I'll tell you. It's been a year since the Congress government has come into power. They have promised the moon to the voters before the elections, and they are unable to keep any of those promises. Very small promises. They went ahead with the free bus travel for women and all that. But the farmers, the women folk, the students, the unemployed, a lot of them, whatever they had promised, nothing has been done to date. And one after the other issue, the Congress government in the state is raising one after the other sensational issue, trying to create a diversion. That's one thing.
Okay.
The second thing, I just want to make this just 20 seconds.
Okay, yes.
Just a couple of days back, the Commissioner of Police of Hyderabad released the annual law and order report. And here is what are the contents. No one is talking about this, and the government does not want this to be talked about. There is a 41% increase in the number of criminal cases from 25,000 to around 35,000, more than 35, around 36,000. 41% increase in this year since the Congress government came in the overall crime cases book. More than 65% in the bodily injury cases where humans were harmed directly. And there was a 21% increase in crimes against minors. Minors, maybe POXO cases, sexual harassment.
Okay,
other
Mr.
cases
Reddy,
as well.
yes.
So it all happened a couple of days ago, and there is no news. All the government is focusing on right now is this one case, and where a case has been filed.
Okay, all right. I've understood your point. You're saying it's a diversionary tactic. Puneet Vishesh wants to make a point, and then Kevin Matthew also wants to come.
Very brief point, So what I read about Allu Arjun is that, he, Chiranjeevi, Pawan Kalyan, and all these are right-wing people, the good humans in my perspective. I've got a neutral. So, the politics, these Congress people, as Kishorji said, they are just trying to pounce because so much of reality is popping up in front of people's eyes, the truth and the false and stuff like that. So that is what, they are connected with BJP and Sanatan and Allu Arjun. He's done films like Gangotri and Shiva. So these Congress people just anti-Hindu, anti-Bharat, and they're just politicizing a poor woman's death. I just feel, I heard only one person's statement. I can't even stand that guy's guts. Akbaruddin Owaisi. He's such a cartoon. He's saying such weird things, This why to politicize? You want to show your goodness, go find the child, take care of him. Why are you politicizing things? That is all I wanted to make a point.
Okay, Kevin Matthew wants to come.
Just want to add to what...
Mr. Poredi, I'll come to you. Kevin Matthew first, please.
Ma'am, it's quite interesting to hear the BJP person saying, sir, let me tell you something. You said politicizing. Who was politicizing this? This is an issue between the state and the citizen. The state, the ministers are supposed to speak for the state. Yes, and it is the BJP who is coming in and politicizing this. When, as you said, if there are so many issues, why is the BJP behind Allu Arjun when they should be raising this? So, you want to run away with this. You want to make hue and cry. You want to make... And finally, it was very interesting when you said that there is so much enthusiasm. Sir, when lives are lost, basic humanity means that we have an enthusiasm to prevent that.
Certainly. So here is, I would like to answer.
Yes, Mr. Poredi, go ahead.
Mr. Puneet has said, see, this is not the first time a film industry person had been targeted like this personally. Earlier, the Nagarjuna family, a minister in the cabinet here, in the state cabinet, she spoke about Nagarjuna's family in a very, very demeaning fashion. Very demeaning fashion. And there was hue and cry. I was on one of the national debates itself. Even the Congress spokesperson said what the minister had said is wrong and they would actually take action against her. Nothing happened to date. That's the first. Nagarjuna himself is also a famous actor. I mean, he had been in Hindi movies as well, right? The first attack was that. It is on the personal thing. I'm not talking about his property, regulations and all of those things. But on his family, very vulgar comments were made. Very vulgar comments, demeaning him. And the Congress said nothing. Next comes the Allu Arjun case, right? It is the personal targeting we are talking about. Politicization of the issue we are talking about. We are not saying. And when Mr. Kevin said, a life has been lost. 1 second. A life has been lost. Yes. We are also very sad about it. See, here, since the Congress government came to power in the state, so many young women like this have lost their lives just because they ate food served in the government residential schools. Just because they ate food served by the government in their schools. So many kids like this lost their lives. Hundreds of them were hospitalized. And a life is a life.
Yes, sir. And
Lost
every
in an
time,
accident like this,
sir.
whether
Every time.
lost in an accident, excuse me, just let me finish this. Whether lost in an accident like this, or maybe it was on purpose, who knows? I mean, let the courts deal with it. Or when a parent leaves their child in the hands of the government to be taken care of, because these are all minor children studying in residential schools. That is, it's the government's responsibility to take care of them. And when they leave their ward in the government's hands, and because of substandard food served, hundreds of students are hospitalized, and it's not one incident, it is tens of incidents like this in the last 1 year, and a girl like this loses her life.
Kishorji, if you start making a list,
action.
Sir, I'm
not
Okay, Kevin Matthew, respond to that.
My problem is with Kishorji is that he was so wary about people being enthusiastic about avoiding loss of life. Sir, life being lost is a problem in this country. Whether it is the BJP Gundas and the RSS Gundas.
I'm not politicizing at all. BJP has nothing to do with Allu Arjun or Nagarjuna or even any individual in the movie industry.
Sir, I listen to you, listen to me.
Aligned with any one of them. Yes.
Sir, I listen to you, listen to me. I listen to you, please listen to me.
Kevin Matthews, 30 seconds, please.
Yes, sir. Nagarjun, let it be Nagarjuna, let it be Allu Arjun. These are people with means and the know-how and the backing of all the system to utilize our legal system. They are not the people who need help. The people who need help.
I'll tell you one second, Mr. Kevin. See, when people like Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi are called for
this is not about
investigation, called for by the ED. One second.
No, you cannot.
Called for by the ED. I hope you will say the same thing.
What about race?
1 second. When people like Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi, who are MPs and who actually own a party, when they are called for investigations, and even Mrs. Kavita, the daughter of the earlier Chief Minister Kalvakundla Chandrasekhar Rauji, when she was called for interrogation or even just questioning, I would say, right? So a huge hue and cry is made, and usually a statement is made. When biggies like these people themselves are not safe against harassment by the police or agencies, then what about the common man? That's the standard of argument that's made. And I'm asking only one thing.
Sir, but only
fair enough, Kevin Matthew.
Even one.
See,
every life is precious.
I don't see your party standing up for common man.
No, 1 second.
All right. So there is clearly one side that feels that the entire matter is being politicized. Puneet, Vashisht, your last thoughts. What is it that we ought to now learn from what has happened?
Exactly. That is what I said in my first segment when you gave me a chance to learn. I think the stars should understand their weight and their place in the hearts of people. It's too big because Bollywood is pretty much gone down the drain, and all eyes and all fans are towards the South Indian actors because they make great movies. They put in their efforts and stuff like that. So the result is that their charisma really hits people. So they should understand that they cannot make such public appearances outside theaters because altogether it's not a very big ground, something a theater. We can all understand the kind of a vicinity a theater outside a place can have. And the management and the police has to be very, very vigilant in the future about such an incident. And Kishorji, if you start about Congress crimes, no, so we will go on for the next. It's a big criminals. I think so let's all over through
I
this.
completely get
Okay.
you.
In the third
Okay.
time I've got the chance to talk, I think we should listen. We should focus on the child, what has happened. I again say that through the news channel, if I can get the child's family's number, I'll find out what's happening. I'm sure Allu Arjun, what he comes across as, he must have definitely found out what's happening with the child. He comes across as a good human. And I think Akbar Owaisi and all these people are just politicizing because they've got a chance, because they're Allu Arjun and Chiranjeevi and all these people, Pawan Kalyan, or from the right wing, they're speaking for Bharat Bhumi. So they've just got another chance to poke a thorn and
Okay.
unnecessarily politicizing.
Okay,
That's all.
all right. I've completely run out of time, but I thank and I appreciate the time that our guests have given us tonight to take this conversation forward.